you want to play your best football. You want to play your best football. It's kind of simple as that. You want to, you want to be relevant. You want to be in the mix for what's happening down the line. Yesterday was disappointing. We are in the mix, and we are relevant right now. But yesterday was disappointing. We, in a lot of different ways. Offensively, we've been moving the ball well, running the ball, our passing game. Everything didn't come together yesterday. Yeah, we wish we had run the football better, more. Wish we had made a couple more plays in the passing game. Defensively, played the run as well as we've played it in a long time. But the passing game really let us down, hurt us with the big plays that we gave up. And special teams, we just haven't been really to generate anything to kind of boost our team when offensive and defensive we're not doing things the way we would like. Penalties have hurt us quite a bit throughout the year. Yesterday, of course, there were some big ones that kind of dictated a little bit the outcome of the game. We have to clean those things up. We realize where we are. Again, it's disappointing, but now it's about this stretch run. We have a 5-game season, playing all NFC teams, starting, of course, with Atlanta at home this week. Have an opportunity to sweep one of our division opponents. There's a lot on the line for us once we clean some things up and play the best ball we play this year. Take your question.
Lovie, you just mentioned it. I assume we were talking defensively. Passing game let you down. That had been an area where you thought you found some answers. You're playing pretty well. What happened? What was the difference?
We have found some answers, and it's yesterday was disappointing, and can't give you a lot of reasons why. We gave us some plays that we normally don't give up yesterday. But all those things I said before the game, I'm saying right now, it won't let us down anymore.
About your pass protection as well, that had been another fairly strong.
It had been. Yesterday it wasn't as strong as it's been most of the year. That's how we have to look at it. You have to give them credit. But yeah, they were able to get pressure on us yesterday quite a few times. We didn't run the ball as well as we'd like. So when we were doing those things well, of course, we would compliment our line quite a bit. We just didn't play as well as we needed to yesterday.
As you looked at the running situation again, how do you think you got away from that, and particularly Doug as early as you did?
Well, looking at it right now, of course, in hindsight, we like the passing. When you're not running the ball, you're not running because you like something in the passing game, a matchup that you have that we think we can get a big play on. Even though we've been running the ball well, we've been throwing the ball well too. And we like some of the matchups we had yesterday. We just didn't execute the way we normally do. So I'm not going to stand here and say, hey, if we just had to run the ball more, everything would have been fine. That's not the case. It just didn't all come together. Sometimes things just don't come together when you think they'll come together from then on. And that's just not where we are right now. We'll bounce back this week.
Well, you talked about this team growing and becoming relevant, and they've learned how to dig themselves out of a hole. Your team has won on the road. They've put together winning streaks now and won a couple games in a row. And now that you are relevant, is that sort of the next step? Is learning how to sort of handle what has always been their own expectations, but the fact that you're in November football and every little play, is heightened because, as you said yesterday, there's not much margin for error.
Well, there's no margin for error as we see it now. And yes, this is the final stage of our growth, rebirth, whatever you want to call it, is to finish on this back stretch. Right now, you look at our season, we went 1-3 the first quarter, 2-2 the second. We have an opportunity. No, it's a must that we go 3-1 this third quarter, finishing up with 4-4 the last. So yes, but the final phase is doing that. We're in position, and in November you want to get in position, and now it's who gets hot at the end. And we think we're going to be one of those teams. So it's not a whole lot of doom and gloom around here. We also the last thing we need to see is that when you don't take care of business late, this is what can happen. And I'm of the school of thought that we're gonna be one of those teams that will do this now, right when we need to.
What's the trick to that as a coach? You're in that final phase to getting these guys to play?
Well, it's no trick to me. I think if you just keep doing what you believe, you eventually get over the hump. Things that we can't do, we can't look at those. Penalties, cleaning up that. And I'm not talking about some of the ones, I'm talking about we had pre-snap, we had a couple post-snap penalties that we just can't have. Matt Hasselbeck, you have to give him some credit. He's one of the best hard count quarterbacks around, and he got us a few times with it. There are some other things that we just can't do. No trick to it, and I think when you have made progress and you're a good football team, you get to a point where you know, and there's no room for error, that those things don't happen anymore when they can. It's a must that you get it right for the football team, and I think our players know that, and they'll get it right for the football team.
What tells you this team is in the final phase of that development?
Just where we are right now. We're 5-6. We're right in the mix, and there's disappointment, but it's not like we're 10 games out. We're not. We're right in the mix right now. That's what tells me we're 5-6 and we're right in the mix. We haven't been there. We haven't been in a position where we can sweep a division opponent in a while. So again, disappointment for yesterday, but not going forward. We're going to be one of those teams that'll get it taken care of at the end.
Well, you have a lot of confidence in the secondary you have out there, the starters you have there right now. Is there any thought to subbing in the secondary, just given that you have some guys on the bench that have played a lot, or do you have the expectation?
And who are you talking about?
Well, with guys like Banks, like Jenkins, that are on the bench.
The guys that we put out on the football field are the ones that we think we need to have out there that help give us our best chance to win. That's what we're going. Just think about doing this for whatever reason. No, we're trying to have a successful play every down. And if that guy's out there, we think he gives us the best chance. Simple. Every position on our football team, that's how we look at it.
Well, there seemed to be a percentage-wise anyway that Joe McCoy didn't play. You know, some days he's played a ton of snaps. Yesterday it looked like you were trying to give him a little more of a rest. Is that sort of strategically late in the year you want to keep him fresh, or was there any thought to that? Or?
I'm going to say the same thing, Rick. I mean, the situation kind of dictates it a little bit. And we're playing, we have 8 guys we're dressing, and we feel pretty good about all of them being able to get the job done. We'll do that. We don't want to play, it's hard for anyone to go the entire time. But as far as resting guys for later on, we have a plan in place, a play time in place before we go into every game. But it was no more than that.
Mike Evans, he's dropped a few balls this year. He's still a young receiver. Are there some fundamental things that you want to work with him on, that you're still working with him on?
Mike Evans is a great wide receiver.
I understand.
Yes, let me finish, if you would. We don't bring back all other games. Yesterday, Mike dropped that was a big pass he dropped yesterday. But overall, I'm not going to complain an awful lot about Mike. He liked to have one of those passes back yesterday, but that one. Don't bring back all the other games. We don't go back that far.
So as you look at this, you just feel like it was a bad day. Your team did not play as well as you would have expected, or they would have expected, and you're going to have days like that?
Well, we can't have any.
Yeah,
Yes, I think as you look at a football season, Rick,
Yeah.
yes, there's going to be some days like that. But you have to look at it. There's going to be some days like that. We had one yesterday. But our football team is a good football team.
Right.
And every play we had yesterday wasn't bad.
Right.
There were some critical times in the game yesterday when we didn't handle it the way we would like. We had a lead at the half on the road against a team that's leading their division. There were some good things happening. That third quarter stretch, we had momentum going in at the half, came out with the ball. Penalty hurt us, and we just weren't able to convert and get anything going right then. We had the one takeaway that we did get went against us with the penalty that took that. That was a big change of events that happened during that time. I'm talking about we had some things like that we didn't handle as well as we need to. And I just don't think we're going to do that each week, not where we are right now as a team.
Looking back on the the play where Conte went over the snapper, trying to block it.
Yes. You wanna go
What was
back
your
to that one?
understanding of what the call was?
Well, my understanding of what the call and what I was told, well, I think officially is leaping this. I was told that, and I thought, well, I was okay with the call, I thought we had leaped and came down on someone, or we used someone to leap across. I thought that's what was called at the time. So I said, okay, that's correct, but that wasn't the case. And just like, you know, we didn't play our best game, I think you can, I think officials too can go into games and say, hey, this wasn't our best game. But we're gonna worry about us. And, but they're not gonna be perfect always either, they weren't yesterday.
Coach, would you say that this was probably the players' best reaction to a loss this season? I mean, just walking around the locker room, it didn't really seem like the guys were hanging their heads and they really acknowledged all the mistakes that were made yesterday.
Well, I know there was a lot of disappointment, but my message to them right away was, we didn't play well, and we were beaten because we did. Here are the things we did wrong. We got to move on. There's too much. We have a 5-game stretch, no time for doom and gloom, all right? It's about what we do from here on out. So it's good to hear that. I still saw a little bit of the hangover a little bit. Normally there is some hangover until players actually watch the video, and then they can move on a little bit. But we're not going to do that. We're disappointed in yesterday's loss, but we're going to get this right for this week's game.
You have, yeah, yourself.